Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing in the bantamweight division. 6 rounds de combate en la división de peso gallo. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces, Sergio Caiz, Pat Russell, and Rudy Barragán. And when the action begins, your 3rd man, el tercero en la superficie, Ray Corona. Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing white trunks. His official weight, 117.8 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina Tecate Azul, vistiendo calzoncillo blanco, con un peso de 117.8 libras. Professionally, he stands with 19 victories, 16 losses, 4 draws, and 12 of those victories coming by the way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 19 victorias, 16 derrotas, 4 empates y 12 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. De Nogales, Sonora, Felipe Rivas. And his opponent across the ring standing in the red corner, wearing gold, white, and brown. His official weight, 117.8 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina Tecate Roja, vistiendo calzoncillo color oro con blanco y café, con un peso de 117.8 libras. Professionally, he stands at 7 victories, no losses, and 4 of those victories coming by the way of knockout. Presenta un récord perfecto de 7 victorias, 0 derrotas y 4 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. De San Antonio, Texas, the undefeated Joshua Franco.
Got the protector. Right here is good. A little high. So aquí está bien, ¿no? Touch gloves. God bless. Rudy.
Ready to go. Referee Ray Corona in the ring. Bantamweight division action coming your way. Both of them weighing 117.8 pounds. Let's look at the tail of the tape for this one, Doug.
And Franco, at age 21, is 10 years younger than Rivas. He is also 1 inch taller, and he has a slight reach advantage.
Ready?
Joshua Franco in the gold. Last time we saw him, Dallas Cowboys, the stadium. A big experience for a fighter from Texas, and he had a huge knockout of Brian Bazan. Knocked him down 3 times, and the last one, Steve, I remember all of us looking at each other like, wow, where's this power been?
You know, I say it all the time. Sometimes it's not if you win, it's how you win. And that was an eye-opening victory, Doug, because I thought what he showed in that particular outing was a certain type of explosion and the ability to accelerate that I don't think he had exhibited before.
No, absolutely not. The difference between his pro debut and that fight was like night and day. It was like he literally grew up right before our eyes, even during the course of that fight, because if you remember in round 1, he had a wobbly moment. He got hurt because Brian Bazan was a very solid fighter. He's a prospect in his own right, somebody who's managed or maybe even trained by Eric Morales. And he came in there looking to win, a guy who had some power, and they went at it for 3 rounds, but it was Joshua Franco who broke the Tijuana fighter down and scored a spectacular knockout.
And that fighter, Brian Brazan, Zona Norte, Eric Morales gym, that's where he was at. He came in very confident to that fight, and Franco at the end knocked him out with the 3rd shot. It was a huge uppercut. It's one of those that went viral also. You're like, okay, well, this is the big knockout from that night. That was with Canelo.
It really was, man. I love his left hook to the body against Rivas so far.
That's something that Franco said. He went back and watched that fight against Brazan. Said he realized he got caught because he was in a rush. He went back and watched our broadcast, which everybody can do if you go to the YouTube for Golden Boy Boxing, and you can see every single replay of these young fighters. Said he noticed his hands were down and he got caught because he was making mistakes, and that's something that he went back to the gym with Robert Garcia and really focusing on.
And that's the mark of a young fighter who is going to improve. If he looks at his fights and not just watches the highlights like fans do, but watches for the imperfections, watches for the shortcomings, and then works in the gym to correct those flaws.
Franco started boxing at the age of 13. His dad was huge Mike Tyson fan. His grandfather was a big boxing fan in San Antonio. His favorite fighter was Fernando Vargas. Finally, at the age of 13, he was a little guy. They took him into the gym, and he hasn't left since. While Felipe Panterita Rivas, Nogales, Mexico,
Oh, he got buzzed.
Franco
Yep.
again.
Franco got buzzed. And I was about to say that you could tell that Rivas has some ring craft due to his experience, because he was covering up very well, waiting for the opportunity to nail the young man.
Doug, I believe that was a left hook that came over a low right guard of Franco.
Right hand. And Rivas is playing referee, saying keep him up here.
It's an interesting round to score.
All my family came out, my friends, and I hadn't fought in a home since the amateur, so it was good. I also got a good knockout, so it was a great fight for me. Yeah, I guess I got just really emotional because it was a tough fighter. You know, it was kind of like a little step up for me. Yeah, I guess, and then just my family and friends were there also, so it was just all in one together. So I just got really excited after I knocked him out. With an experienced opponent, I guess I'm just learning just to maybe get more rounds. Like if I could get more rounds, and if I could knock him out, then I knock him out as well. And so I'm just mostly, I guess, just want to get experience.
And there you see Joshua Franco, friends and family watching in San Antonio. Keep the tweets coming. Use the hashtag RingTVLive. We are checking them out, as is Tony in San Diego. Also San Diego State alum Carla Lustenau, Director of Travel for Golden Boy, watching back in Whittier. Thanks for the support, Carla, as always, and for booking us first class every single time we fly. Beth Durant,
Really?
Steve Kim,
Really?
and Doug Fisher. Oh, you don't get that?
Am I missing out on this?
Greyhound takes great care of me. But you're right, Joshua Franco was stung a little bit by keeping that hand down. And his opponent, Felipe Rivas, saying, keep those body shots up. Good first round.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting round in terms of how the official judges scored it. Now, I scored it for Rivas. Steve scored it for Franco. And you can make a great case for either of them, because Franco really did the most damage. He landed the cleaner, harder shots throughout the round. But this is professional boxing, and that wobbly moment, if the judges noticed it, may have swayed them to score that round for the veteran.
You guys have been around this longer than I have, but when you talk to these journeymen, these veterans, especially the ones that come from Mexico, they have no fear at all, do they? I was talking to Rivas a little bit, like, what do you know about your opponent? Huh? I know he's young.
Yeah, he's
What
young,
else? He goes,
undefeated.
He's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like about 15 other guys. And particularly at these lighter weight classes, and if you're somebody who turned pro to make some money, you weren't like an amateur standout, you've always had to work hard for your paycheck. And it's just another day at the office.
And you look at Rivas, how crafty he is, guys. He's a veteran of 39 professional fights, and if you look at his record, he's fought 9 undefeated fighters. So throw out the record and just look inside the record, and really what it says is seasoning.
Steve, that's a great point. That's exactly what he told me when I caught up with him before the fight. Like, who cares about my record? Most of the time, I'm on 2 days' notice. He goes, I had 3 weeks for this one. Also,
That's a luxury for him.
yes, he's fighting at 115. Normally, he's at 108. He said, I didn't have to struggle to make any kind of weight. This was easy for me.
And Franco's having a good bounce back round here, but one more point about Felipe Rivas, 19-16-4. You know, had a record very similar at the same stage? Orlando Salido.
Yep.
The ultimate classic Mexican Pendleton, as I like to say, in honor of Freddie Pendleton, who actually at 50 fights in was a 500 fighter, became a world champion. But a lot of these things, in boxing, your record is not always indicative of what type of fighter you really are at that moment.
And Rivas has got some ring savvy. He's crafty in there, and he's got a dangerous left hook. And Franco's going to have to come up with a defense and a counter for that shot.
And like Salido, Rivas from Nogales, Sonora, about 2 hours away from Tucson.
Ooh.
Uppercut from Franco.
And guys, that was the punch the last fight against Bazan. That was really the money winner in that point. Set that up very nicely again right there against Rivas.
I think Franco should keep going to the body, even though Rivas is complaining about it and trying to officiate his own bout. It's clear that he doesn't like it to the body, and as long as the ref isn't warning him, keep tagging him there.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, right on over the Tecate. More over right there, right there. Uno de esas, todo. We'll be in the house. Starting to get your cameras ready to meet the great legendary Felipe RIVAS. He'll be here with us live tonight. Fantasy Spring Resort Casino. Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Boxing.
Let's go. Second down. Mouthpiece in.
Keep those tweets coming. We're headed to the third round. Francisco Salazar, the teacher in Ventura, also good boxing describe, good stories this week. Watching us, as is Liza27. Saludos, everybody
Hola.
watching. And then De Las Camisas. And then you're watching Joshua Franco in the gold against veteran Felipe Rivas. Franco from San Antonio, Texas. Mentioned his younger brother, Bam Rodriguez, signed a promotional contract. He's only 16 here in attendance. San Antonio stable also with Hector Tanahara, who's in San Antonio watching a Golden Boy prospect. Mom Maria back in San Antonio, as is his good friend Luis Carrasco, amateur fighter. Franco says, hopes that he gets better soon. Good shot by Franco. 21 years old, doesn't talk much, but he lives at that house with Tanahara, with Jonathan Navarro, with these younger fighters that Robert Garcia has signed. Basically their college dorm where they move away and they come to fight in Riverside.
Trabajo. Work, del mano. Ahí está.
Main event tonight, Mauricio Herrera, Pablo Cesar Cano. Or that'll be Keandre Gibson, undefeated Golden Boy fighter. Third round of action between two bantamweights. Undefeated Franco, 7-0, 4 KOs. He's becoming more fluid, isn't he? As he
No,
progresses
he
his
is.
career.
There's no doubt about that. I thought early on, as we saw him on our series, he looked very rigid in his movements, almost fighting against himself. He looks much smoother than he did, let's say, 3 fights ago, Beto.
Rodriguez in his past, Franco in his past has sparred Ivani Gradovic, Abner Mares,
Carlos Cuadras.
Carlos Cuadras. So he's got up against some battles in the gym.
Good work, and he's picked up a lot because he's got a pretty deep toolbox for somebody who's only 21 years old and just has 7 pro bouts. Now Rivas is complaining a lot about these belt line blows, but I can't see his belly button. When you can't see a fighter's belly button, the punches that land right on the belt line, generally speaking, they're considered legal.
Yeah, Rivas strikes me as a guy you'd hate to play pickup basketball against. There'd be a lot of stops
Foul.
in the action. Yeah,
Foul.
a lot of
Foul.
ticky-tack stuff there.
The guy calls the charge and pickup. Hey, Rivas is complaining about it, but veteran referee Ray Corona doesn't say anything.
That's the only opinion that matters in there.
And Ray's seen a lot in his career. Joshua the Professor Franco was homeschooled in high school, traveling all over the world and country in the amateur experience. Good combination here. Late in the third round. He was trying to move around, getting hit though. I'll do it for 3.
Want to remind the fight fans of some great days coming up. The last fight of the year brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Friday, December 2nd, live from Velasco Theater. Golden Boy Promotions is back with Abraham and Chamaco.
All good, Doc.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, Friday, December 16th, right here, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino and live on HBO Latino. Chikowski, Slava Shabransky takes on Sullivan Barrera. All going down on HBO Latino. Don't forget, December 17th, final one. Bernard Hopkins enters the ring for the final one against Joe Smith Jr.
Fourth round of action, Joshua Franco in the black and gold trunks, huge Spurs fan. It's Felipe Rivas in all white. Second fight of the night, working our way towards Mauricio Herrera and Pablo Cesar Cano. Both fighters coming off a loss. Both fighters very anxious to get back in that ring. Good story by Steve Kim on UCN Live about Mauricio Herrera. Very candid interview you had with him.
Well, listen, I think everyone knows Mauricio Herrera. He enjoys happy hour. I think that he had a dose of reality on the night of May 7th as he was blanked by Frankie Gomez. I really believe this may not be a loser leaves town match, as they say in wrestling. It's a loser might leave Golden Boy, and not by their choice. In terms of who does not come out victorious in tonight's main event.
That's the main event. Right now it's Franco and Rivas. Good left hook by Franco.
Franco had a good round 3. I think he really sort of took over this bout in the 3rd round. Kind of gave himself some distance and started working his jab and boxing Rivas more than trying to whack him out of there. And I think he basically has put Rivas in check.
Well, I think he stabilized the action. From across the ring, I see Robert Garcia. Early on in this round, you could hear him. His instructions were very simple. Jab your way in. That's exactly what he's done for a very, very good part of round number 4 here.
It's not a hard jab, not the stiffest jab I've seen or the straightest jab, but it's kind of a pesky jab. It is establishing his range, and it's helping to set up his other punches. So it's an effective jab.
Rivas in all white, moving around that ring, just showing the veteran experience that he has. Started boxing as a professional in 2003. 19-6 with 4 draws, compared to Franco, who only has 7 professional fights. Only 26 total rounds coming into this one.
I haven't seen Rivas really throw back with any kind of authority in this 4th round, and I'm wondering if he's gone into a survival mode or not.
Well, he got hit with a good right hand there. Those jabs, and he's throwing more like patter at him. Jab from Franco. You hear Robert Garcia yelling, I haven't seen a body shot. Which is very true.
That's a good coach right there, and I agree with Robert Garcia 100%. He should keep going to the body.
Well, maybe Rivas complaining got into the mind of Franco a little bit. He is 21.
Yeah, and it shouldn't. He shouldn't worry about it if Ray Corona isn't worried about it.
Final seconds of the 4th round. It is scheduled for 6 in Indio, California.
Franco working his jab, landing to the mouth area and forehead of Rivas, backing Rivas up, putting him in line for those hooks and crosses like that overhand right that just landed.
I get the sense all the momentum now is with Joshua Franco. Now, what he has to be very, very wary of, go back to round number 1. He seemed to be rolling downhill. Watch out for that trap from Rivas. Rivas might have one more good punch in that back pocket.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Mind your P's and Q's.
I'm seeing Rivas in the corner kind of, arguing with the referee. I'm just wondering if he's disillusioned or not.
Joshua Franco, how do you guys have this one after 4?
I have it 39-37 for Franco. I scored the 1st round for Rivas and the next 3 for Franco.
And Beto, I have it 40-36. First round, I still felt as though Franco, despite getting buzzed, actually did much of the damage to carry the first frame.
Good jab landed by Franco in gold. Rivas started training with him early in the fight, then he was got into reverse mode. Hit a couple times upstairs. Breathing heavy now is the fighter, Franco Rivas in white.
That's the effect of those body shots.
Uppercut by Franco. See Rodriguez on the back of his trunks. Name of his father, Franco's his mother's last name. Left from the professor, as he was dubbed the first day he walked into the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. They're like, no. We just signed some prospects. Who are you with the glasses? Nicknames, especially in boxing, they stick with you. Coming from an old school Mexican guy.
I think it suits Franco.
Yeah.
And the more he progresses, I think the more that nickname fits, because he does a lot in there, and it's obvious that he's learning. When he gets in the ring, he teaches class. Shows his opponents what he's learned and what he can do.
Going upstairs is Franco.
Keep your head up.
Work. He's getting work right now. Last fight of the year for him. Golden Boy has shows coming up December 2nd, the Belasco Theater. Back here December 17th with Slava Shabransky, Sullivan Barrera. And the 18th at the Forum. The last one for Bernard Hopkins.
Final one.
Get off his head. Get off his head.
Doug has done extensive sit-downs with Bernard. I think you asked him one question and the show went an hour.
Yeah, that's not really an exaggeration, Peto.
That'd be a fun night, though, at the Forum.
The funny thing about that studio shoot is after our sit-down interview, which was about an hour long, he said, okay, I got to go. And he said, okay, let's just sit down for one more thing. And it was like another hour
later.
He was like, okay, now I got to go. I'm like, wait, one more thing. And then another hour. It was like 3 hours in the studio.
I just love it when he gets going about food and nutrition. Hey, when you're 51, you look like that, and you're still fighting at an elite level. Why not?
Yeah, you can preach.
We ain't listening, but you can preach. Franco gets hit with a left hook. Wears it. Still's coming. Body work, 10 seconds to go in the 5th round.
Stop. Get off his head. La campana. Tempo.
Nice action from Franco. Jab to the body, overhand right, the right over the top. A nice jab that lands, followed by a right cross.
Huge story of his life coming out, ladies and gentlemen. The new critically acclaimed film, Bleed for This, starring Miles Teller and Aaron Eckhart. The line is filling up, so hurry up, get in line, get your Sharpie, get your camera, and get ready. Former 5-time world champion, Vinny Paz. This is round number 6, your final round.
6th and final round between Joshua Franco in gold and Felipe Rivas in all white. And all Franco, young 21-year-old from San Antonio, Texas, going to earn his way against the veteran Rivas, a 31-year-old from Nogales, Sonora, Mexico. Desperation was the theme in the corner of Rivas. Been all Franco since the opening bell.
Get off his head. No knockdown. Got to keep your head up. Got to keep your head up.
Referee Ray Corona mic'd up. You hear him say no knockdown. Blood from the mouth, though, of Rivas.
Yeah, his lips are fat, the face is swelling up. He seems mentally defeated, if not physically depleted.
Stop.
Second fight this year for Rivas. Franco. This will be his 5th one. So a lot of action for the Golden Boy fighter this year. One thing that Golden Boy really doing is bringing the young kids because of that Belasco show, because of Here Fantasy, being able to get these guys exposure, experience, and most importantly, quality rounds. Here, Razo and Roberto Diaz, matchmakers for Golden Boy, searching all over the place, trying to find guys. You know it. It's hard when somebody says, you know, oh, your guy's 7-0, yeah, I'll take him. How much you paying? Nah, I'm not showing up. It happened to Franco. Franco had a fight in October that fell through.
And Beto, you mentioned the term quality rounds. I certainly think Franco's gotten that the last 2 fights. I think the last fight against Bazan, I think you could describe it as explosive and spectacular, specifically the ending. And I think tonight the way I would describe his outing is very steady. Had a rough moment at the end of round number 1, but I think stabilized things just by being very, very solid fundamentally. It all started with that punch right there, the jab.
Another jab landed by Franco.
Stop.
Steve, I hear you say it over and over with your 2 podcasts. Styles make the fight. You got to have somebody willing to dance with you.
Yeah.
Stop. Take a step back.
No,
Not willing to engage.
A lot of the times, and again, we saw this last week, Saturday, in a fight I don't want to speak too much about because it might bore the audience. Malik Scott against Louis Ortiz. Let's face it, that was 36 rounds. I mean, I really thought Malik Scott was running the Monaco Grand Prix, not just the fight. But, I mean, Louis Ortiz is a quality heavyweight, but again, if you don't sit in the pocket with him and he has to really shuffle and move his feet, you see what happens in terms of his style and his lack of foot speed.
Come on, work. Stop!
10 seconds to go in the fight.
Time!
And we're going to call it time, a low blow. As Rivas has been complaining about it the entire 5 seconds left in the fight.
Over here. Over here.
Low blow was administered. So what goes on now? He gets how many minutes?
Good?
He gets,
up to 5.
Don't do that again.
I don't think
you
I've
hear
ever
me?
seen
Okay?
somebody
Don't do it again.
take the
Oh,
full
you're right.
5.
Yeah.
I said, don't take revenge.
Take revenge.
He said, don't take revenge.
Ray Corona, veteran referee, knows what's up. He knows what to expect. And that'll do it. 6 good rounds between Joshua Franco and Felipe Rivas in the books.
Hey, I'm all for revenge, but it was too late for revenge at this point. 5 seconds left. Nah. Take the high road, old man.
Get your check. Get your check. Go back to Mexico with the Thanksgiving money. Here we
There
go.
you go.
They go the distance. Franco looked, Steve, you said steady, good work.
I think steady is a good way to describe it. And you always see different aspects of his game bout by bout, and I saw his jab on display. I saw what kind of a jab he has. It's not a shotgun jab, not a power jab, not a totally bust your face up jab, but it's a disruptive, pesky jab that sets up his other power shots that do damage.
I get the sense going forward as Franco moves up the ladder and eventually becomes a 10-round fighter, and if he should ever get to that world-class level, I think this is what his fights are going to be. You're not going to have that exclamation point. He's going to have to go out there and chop wood, be very, very steady. I forecast a lot of long, hard, grinding fights for him. He's got a very, very good skill set. I don't think he has a natural one-punch eraser like he showed against Bazan. But I think that
even
Joshua,
Bazan, I mean,
right.
he had to break him down a bit, yeah.
Franco is a kid coming along well. Just 21 years old, still a baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Sergio Cais, Pat Russell, and Rudy Barragan, have scored the same of 60 to 54. Los 3 jueces, Sergio Cais, Pat Russell y Rudy Barragan, tienen las tarjetas idénticas de 60 a 54. For your winner, by the way of unanimous decision, su ganador por la vía de la decisión unánime, San Antonio, Texas, Joshua Franco.
San Antonio's very own Joshua Franco, now 8-0. Earned the decision, earned it. Good way to put it, earned that one tonight.
Good 6 rounds for Joshua Franco as we see highlights of this fight. Franco started out fast, paid the price for being a little bit impetuous, got buzzed by a left hook, landed his share of left hooks, of course, landed his share of jabs and body shots. He has just a good overall game, Steve.
No, he does, and I thought tonight he put in a good, hard, honest night's work. It was made to earn it. These are the type of victories that Robert Diaz and Razzo, they love seeing this. Veteran matchmakers will tell you, the most overrated thing in the development of a fighter is really early first-round knockouts. Tonight, Franco got something out of this.
And we'll be